This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
AIM-listed Karelian Diamond Resources, EPIC code KDR, is focused on diamond exploration in Finland. The company's flagship project is the Laatujoki diamond deposit in the Kuopio region in Finland. And following the green diamond discovery in Finland's Kumo region, the company's been conducting Electron microprobe analysis of kimberlitic garnets from till samples near to the original green diamond discovery location. Chairman Richard Conroy joins us today to tell us more. Richard, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And your good self?
It's good to see you. I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
So, can you first of all explain the nature, in simple layman's terms, of these kimberlitic garnets and also what the process of electron microprobe analysis involves?
Yes. As you're probably well aware, diamonds are formed very deep below the mantle of the Earth. You're talking kilometers. And to reach the surface, they require the presence of a kimberlite pipe. So if you're just looking for diamonds, what you will often do is try to find that pipe. And over the years, the actual kimberlite in the pipe tends to disintegrate and to be carried in whatever direction is down ice from the pipe. So as you commence your exploration, you try to find some kimberlite if you're very lucky. You know that's not diamonds. Kimberlites aren't diamonds, but nonetheless, they are, as it were, a signpost to where the diamonds may be. And what you do then is you try to trace those kimberlites back up to where they came from. Easier said than done, because the kimberlite may travel for very long distances. In Canada, they can travel for several hundred kilometers. Fortunately, in Finland, they tend to travel a far shorter distance, which makes life a lot easier, but nonetheless still very challenging. And so you follow back up along these kimberlite trails, as we call them, until you reach a stage when the train stops. And then you know that you must be pretty close to the origin. Still probably covers quite a large area of ground. But nonetheless, you know you're in the ballpark, as it were. So then what you'll do, usually in conjunction with doing some geophysics and work on the ground, is to see, are there any things that look as though they could be targets? And then you follow that up by either excavating them, because diamonds come very close to the surface. The kimberlite pipes come close to the surface, obviously. But often it also requires some drilling if there's been a lot of till cover or rock cover or whatever it may be. So the next stage, therefore, is doing this sort of excavating and drilling. And we did that after tracing the kimberlite pipe up. We did that, and from that, from those targets, 20 or 30 of them, we took samples, and those samples went off for analysis for the type of kimberlites that were present in them. Because kimberlites do often vary quite a bit, and some of them are particularly associated with the presence of diamonds. So we did that analysis with overburden management out in Canada, and a lot of the results came back, the kimberlite indicators, as we call them, suggesting that we could be fairly close to the diamond source. Didn't give it exactly, but nonetheless, yet again, we were narrowing in the search. And then from those kimberlites that we discovered, they were carefully picked so that as far as possible, you picked out ones which might be associated with diamonds. And they went off for very detailed microprobe analysis. And it's the results of those microprobe analyses that we reported yesterday. And they were very encouraging. Results. Kimberlites, or kimberlite garnets, as we sometimes call them. These were the particular garnets that tend to be associated with the presence of diamonds that they were picked out by overburden and then subjected to this microprobe analysis for detailed examination. Very, very positive, particularly in 3 or 4 of the target areas, and especially in 2 of those target areas. So now we know we're coming very, very close to the source of the diamond.
Excellent, excellent. We're still in the Kuma region now, Richard. In January, you announced the extension of exploration permits at Rihivara. How is exploration progressing there at present?
It's progressing very well. We were talking yesterday about very specific targets which related to the green diamonds, but we already know that diamonds are present elsewhere in the Kufmo area, and we've taken out the licenses, and we'll certainly be following those up in due course.
Super. And Karelian's also made substantial progress in regard to land possession to enable the company to get on the ground and, of course, develop the Ladajaki diamond deposit, develop it into a mine. What sort of impact would this have on the regional economy there?
Oh, it'll have quite a major impact on the regional economy. Finland is quite a large country. We often think of it as small, but in actual fact, in physical terms, it's a very large country. But most of the industry and most of the population are concentrated down in the southeast of Finland. And as you go north, there are forests all over the place, lakes and forests, but not all that many people. Usually farming or having something to do with the actual forestry production, which is very big in Finland. But that employs relatively small numbers of people in any given area. And so if we're able to bring in a mine in Latioka, as we expect to do, then you'll have both the effect of unemployment of the actual mine itself and also the spin-off. And spin-off can be very large. Another mine that we brought in, one in Ireland, we expected the spin-off to be about 4 to 5 people for everyone we employed in the mine. Instead, it was nearly 7 people. Because there are all sorts of extra things that arise once you have a mine working in terms of direct service stations, people coming to visit, a whole row of things. Even the local school tends to get bigger and so on. So and now Finland, one's fortunate in that there's an excellent infrastructure. And also, of course, there is a mining tradition there, not in diamond mining, but in many other forms of mining. So there are lots of highly technically skilled people available, which will be very important in getting the mine going.
Of course, of course. Well, outside of Finland, Karelian also has nickel, copper and platinum interests at an exploration project in Northern Ireland. Now, is this a passive interest or have you got a team on the ground there?
Oh, we have a team on the ground there, and it's something that you must always be aware of in diamond exploration, excuse me, in that the sort of indicator minerals that we were talking about at the beginning of the interview, in actual fact, can be very similar to those associated with the presence of nickel and copper and platinum. So one must always be aware of that. We weren't specifically looking in Northern Ireland for copper or nickel. What we were actually looking was checking out the presence of a diamond, which had been observed there many years ago. We still don't know the whole story, But nonetheless, in the course of the exploration program, stream sediment samples and all that sort of thing, the results came back very, very positive in relation to nickel, copper, and platinum group metals. And as I say, this is not unknown in diamond exploration. One of the largest nickel mines in the world, the Voisey Bay discovery, it arose out of a diamond exploration program. I'm not saying what we have in the north of Ireland is anything of that nature. We're at a very, very early stage, but certainly it's looking very interesting and very promising, and of course would be an additional wing to Karelian Diamond Resources.
Of course. Well, Karelian's funding position was boosted last year with a £250,000 fundraise at 2.5p, and of course, board members participated in that raise to the tune of 100,000. What does the funding position look like now for 2024?
Well, we're fortunate in one sense in that the actual demands over the last while have been more in terms of analysis and laboratory work and that sort of thing. But clearly, it will be necessary and indeed obvious, and we're very happy to be doing it, to drill these targets, which we think may turn out to be deposits of green diamonds. And that's going to require funds. It's one of the features of exploration, the raising of funds. Now, it's not necessarily the only way in which you can do things, and certainly the directors were very happy to come in seeing the results, and we hadn't got to this stage. But nonetheless, quite often one may bring a joint venture partner in or look at things in whatever way it may be. But certainly, yes, ongoing funds will be required.
Okay, that's fine. So just to, we're running short on time now. Can we just end by looking at what else investors can look forward to in the coming weeks and months from Karelian?
Oh, they can look forward to some very interesting announcements in regard, for example, to the Latzioki mine. We're very advanced there, as you mentioned, in relation to land access. Have paid compensation after the due processes which are required in Finland after they were completed in the land court there. Paid the compensation, which was substantial, but not as high as it appeared it might have been, which gives us land access in relation to the Latzioki mine. Now, there were two individuals who looked for an increase in the compensation. We would have been happy to discuss that with them and come to some arrangement, I'm sure. But in addition, one of them wanted a slight change in the boundary in relation to his land. And under the Finnish law, that meant that the whole process had to go back to the land court again. And these things always take time. But I'm very glad to say that at the end of May, the actual hearing to complete that will be held. And until it does, we're waiting on the Finnish department, mining department. They have to have this in order to grant us the full mining licenses. And we in turn obviously have to wait on them. So that'll be very good news when we get that. It's been a long process moving towards it, and it will be great to have achieved it. So that'll be very good. And then, as you see, with the diamond discovery program, we could have, no guarantee, but we could have some very, very exciting news there over the coming months. There'll be a program of further excavation and drilling there in due course. We're really waiting on the weather there in Finland, just as everywhere else. It is very wet on the ground, and there's no way you can bring in a drilling rig, but hopefully that will improve over the coming months. And then, of course, in Ireland, we've started scarcely scratched the situation there. If it does look as though it might, that it could be very prospective for nickel and copper, that would and possibly some of the platinum group metals. That could also be very exciting news in the coming months. Ireland is now an international base metal exporter, particularly of zinc, and we ourselves have had some very interesting gold discoveries. But this would be an entirely new addition if we can see significant amounts of or potential for copper, which will be a big demand, and nickel, which is down at the moment, but will be coming back into demand in due course as the zero situation continues. And of course, platinum is always very welcome.
Of course. Well, Richard, it's been great finding out about your plans for the coming year. We wish you every success, of course, going forward. Just remains for me to say, Richard Conroy, Chairman of Karelian Diamond Resources, many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.